ওয়েলকাম ব্যাক ভিউয়ার্স। আমরা খুব চমৎকার কিছু ডিসকাশন করতেছিলাম আতিক চৌধুরীর ফরমেশন অ্যান্ড ফাউন্ডেশনস ইয়ার রিলেটেড। এখন আমরা যাচ্ছি আমাদের সেকেন্ড ফেজ অফ আওয়ার প্রোগ্রাম, হুইচ ইজ ট্রানজিশন অ্যান্ড ট্রান্সফরমেশন ইয়ার্স। এখানে আমরা সাধারণত দেখি কলেজ, ইউনিভার্সিটি, ফার্স্ট জব, এইসব বিষয়ে আমরা একটু আলোচনা করার ট্রাই করি। সো আতিক ভাই, your father was working very hard. He was based in St. Albans, and of course he studied there. What about your college education and maybe your adulthood, early adulthood life?
Say from primary school, I went to secondary school. My secondary school was Chancellor School in Brookmans Park. And again, a very big school, senior school, the only Asian in my whole year. It was challenging, but it molded you. And sitting in some of the classes, let's say, learning about history, specifically history of India and the Bengal, interested me a lot in terms of how they saw it and what my parents were telling me, and there was a difference. So I took very keen interest in history because I think history actually repeats itself and is very important, and general education is important in terms of mathematics, English, vocabulary, and understanding the language and gripping it, and a broader perspective. Sports as well was very important to me, expressing oneself and drama. And I enjoyed school. I enjoyed my schooling years. But when I became a monitor, so you have a captain and a monitor, so the monitors have to have a responsibility. So I decided to take over the school tuck shop. I took over the tuck shop, but the tuck shop got very, very busy. And I thought it was doing very well because I had my own business ideas of how to increase the turnover and give the kids the benefit of being able to serve them very quickly within a very short period of time. But my headmaster called me in and told me off, saying that the school tuck shop was doing better business than the canteen. So I thought that was a compliment rather than something detrimental.
Absolutely, it's a great compliment. So being a monitor in your entire school, of course, it's a very traditional community with lots of locally born and raised kids. Many of them were English, and he became kind of a monitor. Oh my God, that's an achievement. But then again, running a talk show. So these ideas, innovations, solving, your fellow students' problem, coming up with fast food, that resonate well with them. So that actually, I can see a lot of entrepreneurial spirit in there, and also I can also see a bit of leadership emerging from it. So it must have contributed quite a lot to your adulthood, I think. So if you can just continue
So
with
if
your adult journey
the
now.
important thing is to be able to roll your sleeves up and get involved at a ground level and build yourself and understand what you're doing. And it did help that we had a shop in my earlier years, so I had the retail skills from my parents and developed that from the shop into the tuck shop and understanding products and what the kids wanted. So it's and being able to put a few people together and being effective. So these are things which is down to environment. Environment হলো সবথেকে important জিনিস। আমরা অনেক জিনিস ভুলে যাই। আমরা মনে করি just education will make that perfect person, but it's not everything for everyone.
Absolutely. Then education in some cases, of course, is important in life, but education is only an important item. It's not the important item. So এখানে আমাদের তো আপনার পার্সোনালিটি আছে, তারপর আপনার ফিজিক্যাল স্ট্রেংথ, মেন্টাল রেজিলিয়েন্স, সাইকোলজিক্যাল ওয়েলবিং, তারপর হচ্ছে কানেকশন উইথ লোকাল পিপল অ্যান্ড হ্যাভিং অপরচুনিটিস. For example, you said you have worked in a shop that gave you a lot of background knowledge.
From a young age.
Yeah, from a young age. How early you started your career, roughly, in the shop?
Well, I was collecting rent when I was 10.
Okay. So,
and the family shop, I was 15.
15.
Yeah. Then, I was helping my mother with her shop. And she was very passionate. about her business, to develop the business. So I thought that helping her on my day off and after school was very important. And I enjoyed it, seeing how the business was and what could be done to actually improve the business.
So sweet was not a problem then for you,
No, I've always had sweets around me, always.
So having an advantage, of course, if you work for
especially when you like sweets and crisps, it's addictive.
Addictive, amazing, yes. So in terms of high school or a bit of early adulthood, what did you do, for example, when you were 18 roughly?
17 is when we started our restaurant.
Wow, 17.
Yeah.
Your restaurant? Or your parents?
My mother and myself.
Okay.
It was my mother's restaurant. I was there in the back, just trying to fit in and help any way I could.
Was it an Indian food or a Thai?
It was an Indian vegetarian restaurant.
Okay.
So, again, being in an environment where you've got a business and, you've moved from a shop into a restaurant, and this is our first real experience. How do we deal with this? So it was very interesting that we developed this restaurant. Within 3 months, we had a queue, just serving Indian vegetarian cuisine.
Only vegetarian?
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, was that a South Indian vegetarian or?
Well, quite a lot of the dishes were North Indian and South Indian.
All vegetarian?
All vegetarian.
What made you select
My mother's actually vegetarian, so this is the reason.
Okay.
It's her choice.
It's her choice.
It wasn't mine. I was just following the journey.
Okay. And generally, I love South Indian food because I used to live in South India.
Yeah.
So
we were doing things like dosas,
yeah.
uttapam, avial, sambar, belpuri.
Idli vada sambar.
Yeah, absolutely. But again,
do you remember about chocho bhat?
Is that something like, let's have it, pav bhaji?
It's not. It's more like semolina.
Yeah.
You can cook semolina with pineapple, let's say, yes?
All right, okay.
And it becomes a bit sweet. Or you can cook semolina with salt and curry leaves.
Oh, yeah.
And then you combine both of them. You have one side is a bit salty, another side is a bit sweet.
Yeah, it's like
very
a savory.
Delicious.
Amazing.
Yeah, it's delicious.
Because you have to remember, South Indian taste is very defined in their taste and their texture, and it's amazing.
Yeah, so when I went to India after about 25 years, I think it was about 15 months ago in January, February. Then I took a taxi to go to Mysore from Bangalore. And my first instruction to him, take me to a South Indian restaurant. Of course, we have plenty here, just to resonate well with South Indian dishes. It's brilliant, actually, brilliant.
Amazing taste.
Yeah, absolutely. What is your favorite vegetarian dish then?
My favorite vegetarian dish would be, masala dosa.
Yes.
Served fresh from the tawa.
Yeah.
With amazing sambar and coconut chutney. It's the texture is amazing.
Yeah, coconut is also, our favorite.
And things like pav bhaji.
Yeah.
Which again, cauliflower with potatoes, tomato, with garlic salt on a pav, which is a bun, which you griddle with masala, and then put the pav bhaji on top and chop some coriander. It's just amazing flavor.
So were you in the front side of the restaurant or the back side?
I was on the front side, but then my mother told me, because the constant argument about the quality of food.
Yes.
So then I trained as a chef at a friend of the family, his restaurant.
Yeah.
So I was in the kitchen and I learned how to work from the pot wash all the way through, a classic story of how to develop yourself and how to understand ingredients and how the kitchen works. So I used to start very early hours in the morning, but it was only as an assistant. But eventually, because of my interest, and I sort of very focused on learning how to prepare the ingredients and how does the ingredients work, the chemistry of food. So the chefs called me early hours in the morning, said, okay, come in at 6 o'clock and we'll show you everything.
Amazing.
So,
I think there is a science behind many of our ingredients. So for example, if you look at turmeric, yes?
Yeah.
It's antibacterial.
Correct.
Many people drink turmeric water when their stomach is upset, for example.
Absolutely.
Yes? And then you have limbu, yes, which is lemon.
Yeah.
And then it helps you to digest.
Yeah.
And the chili, again, of course, it has vitamin.
And turmeric actually goes through your arteries, and it's very good for repairing your arteries. So a lot of the medicines and everything that you have actually based on spices and herbs.
So those who are trying to, of course, study at home, I think we all have an opportunity because all Asian families have a good kitchen, and we have traditional spices. What tips will you give to our audience about teaching their kids how to cook, how to understand the nutrition values, and how to understand the chemistry behind the spices?
Look, food is very important. It's not just a matter of eating for the sake of filling yourself up. We come from amazing culture and history. And the food that we have and we have access to, our average Bangladeshi kitchen, and the ingredients we have is just amazing. But it's all about moderation and the timing of when you eat. You should eat breakfast like a king, lunch like a prince, and dinner like a pauper. If you maintain that, especially as we get to a certain age, our diets change. Now, I don't have a full portion of food. I actually have a half portion. And I'm very careful in terms of the use of oil in ingredients. I actually think about what to eat. I don't just eat for the sake of eating.
Absolutely. So that is about our diet, dietary preferences. But in terms of kids sitting at home, watching television or YouTubes or whatever, what tips will you give to their parents? So
I would say to their parents,
they allow their kids to cook food together, things like that.
Get them to participate. I mean, I was very lucky because I learned from my grandmother, and that's my passion for food. Her taste of how she used to make the chicken korma and the pulao rice and the ilish mas korma, chitul maser borta.
Okay.
So all these things. My grandfather used to actually, put mustard oil, chop the muli with green chili and dhania pata, and the taste was just, I learned that. This is my earlier years.
What are the skills you developed as a restaurateur?
Well, as a restaurateur, you develop a taste. You develop the actual art of hosting. Who should sit where, what they should eat, what are their preferences, knowing people's habits, social skills, interaction. It's a theatre.
It's a theatre, yes, absolutely.
It's not, people don't go to restaurants just to eat. It's actually, it's like a film set, and you're operating it every day. And that's the beauty of restaurants, because you go there to celebrate, you go there to commiserate. It's a social place where people feel a home away from the madness.
Absolutely, that's a brilliant description of how you can convert a restaurant into a meeting space, a restaurant to host people, and show how good you are, your hospitality skills. Certainly. Colleagues, আমরা এখন একটু এক্সপ্লোর করব ভাই থেকে রেস্টুরেন্ট থেকে তো উনি অনেক কিছু শিখলো অ্যান্ড ইটস এ ম্যাটার অফ আর্টস বাট উনি কিন্তু লাইফে আস্তে আস্তে করে আপনার ফার্মাসিউটিক্যালসে গেল, প্রপার্টি ডেভেলপমেন্টে গেল, সাথে সাথে উনি কিন্তু আপনার পৃথিবীর বিভিন্ন দেশে, বিভিন্ন কন্টিনেন্টে অনেক বেশি কানেক্টেড, ইভেন বিভিন্ন পলিটিশিয়ান, হেডস অফ স্টেটস, মেনি অফ দেম আর হিজ ফ্রেন্ডস। তো একটু কাইন্ডলি বলেন আপনার এই যে জার্নি অ্যান্ড ট্রান্সফরমেশন।
Well, journey and transformation is that you develop yourself in your locality, in your area. Then you have to have, I would say, you develop yourself into having a bigger perspective and making those changes and those differences. So I was very fortunate that we have a pharmaceutical business in Bangladesh, and we manufacture over 100 different generic medicine, and we are, how do you say, have been set up since 1992, which is one of the sort of senior companies. And I learned about pharmaceuticals by going to Bangladesh and seeing what the challenges are. But obviously, আমাদের অনেক second generation কারা এখানে জন্ম হয়েছে তাদের একটা নেগেটিভ পার্সপেক্টিভ থাকে বাংলাদেশের উপরে। কিন্তু as I entered that side to take over some responsibility, I learned that the people were very hardworking. If you know how to operate with them, I mean, one of the most important skill sets that I learned is that you leave everything in Heathrow Airport and you have to acclimatize to Bangladesh. and operate at their level of how they operate, how the average person thinks, and relate to them. If you can relate to them, if you can reach out to them, and don't create that wall where you said, beshi gorom, beshi traffic ase, dekho khawata clean na. Kotha holo Bangladeshe kintu shob kichu ase. There is nothing that's short. If you're looking for people who will be committed to your journey to help you, they're all there. It's just a matter of how you engage with them and keep yourself accessible. And the thing about honesty is, there's a lot of questions of British Bangladeshis. They look at their own people and say, you know what, they're dishonest. If you do not keep your eye on the game, then obviously you'll have people taking advantage. So if you create an environment of accountability, transparency, share the journey with them, motivate them, you can do a lot of things.
Amazing. So what an interesting, examples that you gave. So for example, he was born and brought up here. He decided to set up his factory in Bangladesh. Where
Not myself, my mother, she started it. And I was there to help out sort of midway through the journey.
Amazing. So, and then second thing is the value is that when you are in Rome, behave like a Roman. When you are in Britain, behave like you are a British individual. When you go to Bangladesh, adapt your character and attributes and values so that you can easily gel in Bangladesh. You don't feel out of the pond. Yes. So we have to integrate and assimilate quickly. আর প্রত্যেকটা দেশে তো কিছু অ্যাডভান্টেজ আছে। ফর এক্সাম্পল ব্রিটেনে কিছু অ্যাডভান্টেজ আছে, কিছু ডিসঅ্যাডভান্টেজ আছে। So we should not moan about our disadvantages. Harness the advantage. See things in a positive light. See the glass as the half full, not half empty. And then only you can fill your thirst, isn't it? Yes?
Correct.
Yeah, absolutely. So these are amazing lessons we are learning from you, ভাই আতিক ভাই। Now, আপনি তো এর মধ্যে অনেক হেড অফ স্টেটের কাছে আপনার বন্ধু-বান্ধব আছেন, অনেক পলিটিশিয়ান আপনার পরিচিত। একটু ওই সাইডটা কিভাবে ডেভেলপ হলো?
See, the thing is that when you are socially accessible and you manage to develop good links with different people. I mean, at one stage I had the Minister of Finance for Ghana who came to the restaurant, and I cleared one section of the restaurant specifically for him. And I gave him such, hospitality that he invited me to Ghana to do a trip out there and have a look and see what the potential of Ghana was and meet some of the leading politicians and secretaries. And I did that. I took his invitation. So Africa to me has been a journey for a long, long time. And, through my connections and through the people I know, I have developed a lot of very good contacts in Africa, especially for the Bangladesh pharmaceutical industry and the Indian pharmaceutical industry, because what you have to remember is that what I explain to the African leaders is you should not look to the West, you should look to the East, because this is the future. We can bring you medicine, life-saving medicine, let's say cancer drugs, because at the moment you have people from China going into Bangladesh and filling their suitcase up with cancer-saving drugs, which is at a fraction of the price of what you'll pay in the Western world. For a course of cancer drugs, you'd be paying around $300, while in Bangladesh, for $20, you'd get exactly the same, because the raw active ingredients actually exactly the same. This is the process, and the things are much cheaper in Bangladesh and India.
Absolutely.
And Bangladesh has been very good at developing those people, developing the skill sets that's needed for these industries. It's accelerated. And you find that the top 5 industries of Bangladesh on the export side, pharmaceutical is
one of them, yes.
Is one of them. And that's because of the hard work and the energy and the young people that you have there and their skill sets.
And that's also because of you, people like you who are advocating, acting as an ambassador of Bangladesh in different countries. I think that's what is important. Now, আমাদের আর বেশি সময় নাই colleagues, এখন আমরা একটু এক্সপ্লোর করব আতিকুল চৌধুরী ভাইয়ের লিডারশিপ অ্যান্ড লেগেসি। উনি তো দেশকে অনেক কিছু দিয়ে গেছেন অলরেডি। He is already leaving a legacy behind. He is also leaving genetical legacy here, a social legacy. তারপর আপনার কিছু শেয়ার করার থাকলে একটু বলেন আপনার লিডারশিপ অ্যান্ড লেগেসি রিলেটেড।
Look, what I would say, leadership isn't from the front. Leadership is from the back. People who are the most effective create leaders. They don't stand in front of the game, they stand behind the game. That's one of the things that I learnt.
This is a brilliant example. To be a leader, be along with your audience, yes?
Correct.
Be along with your follower. Because without a follower, you cannot be a leader, yes?
Yes.
Amazing, thank you. Colleagues, আমরা অলমোস্ট শেষের দিকে এসে গিয়েছি। আজকের এই শোতে আমরা আতিক ভাই থেকে অনেক কিছু শিখলাম, অনেক কিছু জানলাম, এডুকেশন অ্যান্ড ক্যারিয়ার রিলেটেড ম্যাটার্স। তো এখান থেকে একটা মেসেজ আমরা দিচ্ছি সবাইকে, সেটা হচ্ছে জীবনে সাকসেসফুল হতে হলে whatever opportunities is given to you, take advantage of it and see the world in a positive manner. Learn from it and then maybe adapt to the situation so that you can take advantage of the time and the context. Thank you, Atik Bhai, for joining us. Thank you, viewers, for being with us. Thank you so much.